Hello everyone, this is I'm Monocle Man and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at something very interesting. Now I think you guys will remember that not that long ago, a few weeks ago I think it was, I uploaded a video about piston doors, 3x3 piston doors to be more specific, and this is the design that I showed you how to build. But then I got a message from a fellow YouTuber called CreepyGamer5957, I think it was, saying, talking about an observerless design. And I thought to myself, well, that seems like a good idea. Why not try it? So I designed two different designs. I designed an observer-less design, meaning it has less observers, but not no observers. Then I designed another design with no observers entirely. So today I'm going to be showing you how to build both of these designs. Now, as you can see, they both function almost the same speed, as you can see here. These are, in my opinion, I think they're actually better than these other ones because if you notice, it might take slightly longer, and also you see that piston retracted. Not that piston, but that piston over here was meant to stay up, not retract. So to make that happen, this is what I've come up with. So I'll be explaining how it all works as I'm building it, so yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, let's crack on with the tutorial. So first we're going to start with the semi-observerless design of 3x3 piston. As you can see, it works very nicely. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need 3 redstone torches, 1 lever, a lot of redstone dust, a repeater, a comparator, a diamond, or any other item that you need to go in your dropper hopper monostable circuit, an observer, 11 pistons, some door blocks, some circuit blocks, and the optional target block. I'll explain why the target block is optional in just 1 second. First, I'm just going to take all of these and put them in my inventory, possibly moving some, just so that they're perfectly there. And so what you want to do is you want to start off with a 7x2 area. You're going to start by taking your door blocks or your floor blocks, whichever you want. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. This is going to be where your floor is. So just keep that in mind. This is of course your floor. I'll just build a small frame for the door over here. As you can see, it is 5x5 with a 3x3 hole in the middle for the 3x3 door, of course. And over here, this is the door frame. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to want to start by taking 2 pistons right down the middle, 1, 2, up like this. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take one of your circuit blocks, you're going to put one down there right next to the piston, take a lever, that's going to be powering that block. Now over here you want to take a piece of redstone dust, has to be a crossroad so it powers all adjacent blocks, and when you flick this lever it will turn on. The redstone will turn on, however it won't affect the pistons, and I'll show you how you can make the pistons work in 1 second. Now what you want to do is you want to take a block up like that, like I just did there, with a redstone torch on the side of it. Then you're going to want to take a sticky piston up like this, facing inwards towards these 2 center pistons. Then you want to place a block on its face. Now this particular piston will be controlling whether or not it is getting powered. So as you can see, if I were to place a door block in here, you can see that that will create a monostable circuit. And the way this works is basically it powers that block, but 1 tick after that piston retracts, therefore giving it a 1 tick pulse. That is why it spits out its block. So yeah, that's going to be quite useful to know. Then what you want to do is you want to place a block on top of the redstone torch, and then another redstone torch on top of that. Now what you want to do is now if you notice over here, what we're going to do is we're going to make the block storage. So over here we're going to put a piston on the arm of the other piston like that, and another block like this. And now you can see that when you flick the lever, we have our 2 middle blocks up like that. Now when you flick it again, only one of those blocks gets retracted. So in order to have both of those blocks retracted, we're going to take a repeater like this, set to 1 tick of course, then redstone dust like this. Now what you want to do is, as you can see, we punch a hole there. So what we're going to do is we're going to break a little hole there with a redstone torch. Of course, you can shave off those 2 other blocks like that. Now what you want to do is you want to create your dropper hopper monostable circuit. So we take a dropper facing upwards like that, with a hopper on top of it. Then you take a comparator that leads into the first piston. Of course, you will notice that this gets redirected into that, but of course, because they're not active at the same time, it won't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our what we are putting in this dropper into the dropper. Of course, in my case, a diamond, but in your case, it could be whatever block you want. And as you can see, we have the full closing. Well, not the full closing, but the 2 closing blocks over there. And then, as you can see, we're just missing 1 part. And now for this part, this is where the observer comes in. The single observer comes in over here. What we're going to do is we're going to go find that comparator. We're going to place an observer facing upwards over here, of course looking down on the comparator. And now you should see that we have the full block extension and the full block retraction. As you can see, the rest is fairly easy from here. Now what you want to do now is you just want to take a redstone torch up like this, take your block of wool and your optional target block, and I'll show you why it's optional in a minute. Now you take a block up like this, redstone torch on top. Wait, no, sorry, not redstone torch. You need redstone dust on top. And then what you're going to do is you now have a choice to make. Either you can do something like this, and this is with the piston layout pretty much. Either what you could do is you could have something that looks a little bit like this. And the reason this is good is because on the other side over here, if I take some pistons out like this, we're going to see that when I put a block here, when I power this block, both of those pistons will extend due to bud mechanics. However, if you do want to shave a block from the top, you don't want to have this layout. So what you're going to want to do if you want to shave a block off the top is you're going to take a piston like this, block on top, with redstone block with door block like that. This time when you power this, only 2 of them will extend. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do something a bit wacky where you make that happen so that all of the pistons extend. So I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So now we're going to do it the wacky way so that it's easy to know how to do the easier way. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to fill in that space over there. We're going to put a target block over here. Now, as I said, this is optional. That is because if you want to do the weird and wacky way where you have to sort of split the circuit like that, then that is what you can do. Oh, and of course, I forgot to put that last piston in there. So with the wacky way, it does shave a block off the top, so I do recommend using it if you do want it just to slot quite nicely into your world. Now what you want to do is you want to take 2 blocks, run redstone dust on top of this, and because it's split, it will power all 3 of those pistons like that. And so yeah, that's quite nice. Now what you want to do is you want to take redstone dust, you want to run it across like this, down, then a block over there, 2 redstone dust on top of that block, and then a block down. This will be powering the other piston, and of course it works like this. Now of course this is the version where it does shave a block off the top. It is a bit more complicated and it will use a bit more redstone dust. So if you do want to save redstone dust but not exactly save space, then what you could do is something that is a bit more like this, and I'll show you just in a minute. You can take away the blocks from the sides, the pistons from the sides I mean, and then you just add more pistons on top like this, and then you can just fill it in like that. And what you're going to do now is you'll want to do something that's a bit different. So you want to take block up like this with redstone dust. You want to take redstone dust to the side, block, redstone dust, another block up, 3 blocks up in fact, over here like that. This will save redstone resources if you do want to. If you are running low on those, then this would be the preferred piston door to build. And as you can see, it works just the same, except it has 3 blocks on the top, instead of 3 blocks on the sides and 1 block on top. So yeah, this is the semi-observerless design. Time to get on to the fully observerless design. Okay, so to start things off with our fully observerless design, we're going to need 11 sticky pistons, 1 lever, 7 repeaters, some redstone dust, our door blocks, a dropper and a hopper for our monostable circuit, the item to go inside of the drop hopper monostable circuit, 2 redstone torches, and of course our circuit blocks, a comparator to detect the falling edge or monostable circuit, and the optional target block. Of course, now what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange our inventory layout so that of course we have our circuit blocks in our second inventory slot. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to find the exact center of this 3x7 area. We're going to take 2 pistons up like this. Now of course it is 3x7, not 2x7. Of course, without the observers, my design sacrifices 1 block, but of course that doesn't matter because we do in fact know that this part is underground, so we don't need to worry about that too much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 pistons like this. Your floor level will of course be like this. Now we're going to build the door frame just to make it easier to see. Now of course with the door frame you want another 5x5 circle with a 3x3 hole in the middle for the door space, of course. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to take a circuit block like this with a lever attached to it. Then take a repeater set to 1 tick, or the default, and of course lead it into a block with redstone dust on top. This has to be a redstone crossroad so that it powers all adjacent blocks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a block up like this with a redstone torch on it, and then next to that redstone torch we're going to have our monostable circuit piston, our first monostable circuit. Then we're going to take a block on top of that redstone torch and another torch on top of that. Now we're going to have our block storage piston over here with a block on its face and another block on the double extender's face. Now as you can see, when you flick this lever, it works the same as before. It creates the full extension, but of course not the full retraction. So in order to do the full retraction, what we're going to need to do is we're going to find this redstone torch. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 redstone dust over here. We're going to take our dropper hopper monostable circuit. We're going to put it here. Sorry, where the dropper goes here, the hopper goes here, and of course put the item of your choosing inside. Now what you want to do is you want to take a comparator and lead it into the bottom piston. Now we're going to take our repeaters again, and what we're going to do is and as you can see now, you see that we have the full extension, but a little bit more of the retraction, but still not enough. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to create our falling edge monostable circuit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a redstone dust like this, but of course we don't want it to power this bottom piston, so we have to redirect it by leading it on top of that block. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 repeaters like this, both of them set to 4 ticks. I've just got to place my other repeater down there, set them both to 4 ticks, and a 1 tick repeater over there. Now this will be you might recognize this from my redstone basics video. This is a locking repeater falling edge monostable circuit. Now what you want to do now is you want to take a block up like this with redstone dust on top, another block on top of that 1 tick repeater, then another block on top of the 4 tick repeater, and redstone dust on top of that, and a 1 tick repeater there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 blocks to the side and 1 block up with 2 repeaters, both set to 2 ticks, because this will be what's doing the retraction. So as you can see over here, when you flick the lever, full extension and full retraction. And now what you want to do is you want to build up the rest of your door. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place in the rest of the pistons. Now you could have a choice between 3 blocks on the other side and having to doing something wacky, but shaving a block off the top. Or what we could do is we could have 2 blocks and nothing wacky going on. So I'm going to go the 2 blocks because that seems simpler, and also we did the 3 blocks but saving a block on top for the others. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 sticky pistons facing down like this, of course, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take your door blocks, fill them in around the sides like so. Then of course you want to build the other side of your frame so that it looks prettier. Now of course once you fill this in, of course none of the other pistons will extend except that one over there, as you can see over here. that block over there and the double extension extended. But if we want to get the others to extend, what we're going to do is we want to take a redstone torch up like this that will spit out the block. You can just place it back in like that, or you don't have to, you can just activate the door. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our other different coloured circuit blocks. We're going to take a block up like this with redstone dust on top, then another block on top of the piston and run that across like that, so even if it's redirected it will still power it. Then a block like this, blocks like this along the top, run your redstone line across the top, so that will power the 3 pistons. Now as I said before, you could shave a block off the top with the optional target block, but we're not going to do that now. Then you run a block down like that and a block like that. Now this should be your full 3x3 piston door complete, like so. So yeah, that's this is our fully observerless 3x3 piston door, and of course I actually prefer it a lot to this. It uses much less observers, which means of course less nether quartz. In fact, it uses no observers and only 1 comparator, which means it uses barely any nether quartz. Some other things that might be worth noting is that you should probably make this side the front rather than the other side, because of course then you'd have to do something like this and it wouldn't exactly be as flush with the wall as possible. And so yeah, this goes for both designs. So yeah, I do recommend making the other side the main entrance, because of course then it would be as flush with the wall as possible. And of course you don't really need to worry about this last little area being 3 blocks wide, because it is under the floor and no one will really see it unless they for some reason try to dig up your piston door. And that's I'm not entirely sure about the rules of Minecraft, but I'm pretty sure that trying to dig up people's piston door is a bit rude. But so yeah, I don't think that anyone would do that, and they both the semi-observerless one and the fully observerless one work equally as fast, and I still believe that that's quite nicer than my old design. So of course, if you did like this video, please hit that like button and make sure to subscribe, because that would really, really, really make my day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!